The president who hired me to take over that store calls me after my 3-month sales are in. You know what he tells me? He says he made a mistake hiring me. He said, I'm the store manager. I am not allowed to sell. And my personal sales were more than my entire team combined.
How do you go from being, hey, kind of recruited for sales when you get in front of some people to being the president of the company and helping it grow so much?
It was very interesting because on paper, we had no business entering the market space. It was already oversaturated. There were so many players. But I found out, first time in my life, a person can make a difference. They believed in me. They liked me. They believed in the partnership that I had backing me up. They believed in our technical capabilities. And 8 months later, the company had exploded beyond all of our wildest dreams.
Thanks for being on, Frank. Appreciate you, man. Great seeing you again. For everyone who doesn't know who you are, just give a little context of who you are, what you do.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Corey. It's Frank Abbruzzese. I'm currently the president of AlphaKOR. Come June 30th, I'll be retired from day-to-day operations. We're an IT company based in Windsor, Ontario, just around the corner.
It's 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, 38 years in this industry, and I'm very excited to move on to the next journey of my life, where I'll be focusing on some of the great stuff that I've built up to now with a phenomenal team. AlphaKOR is the name of the company, been around 31 plus years, and we have over 85 people across Canada servicing clients nationwide and globally. So it's been a very exciting career.
So did you start the company?
Actually, I came in as sales in year 2 of operations, and we quickly grew and we became a corporation. I was named president, bought in, and 4 of us built it for about 25 to 27 years, and then we brought in our current CEO, who's been in the ranks and moved up. So it's been an exciting ride with multi-partners, and we're all still the same guys from the beginning.
So did you came in as sales. So
Yes.
and you guys are in IT technology, right?
Yes.
Did you have experience selling?
I did. I worked for 2 companies prior. I had 7 years experience selling both retail and corporate. Actually, it ran a superstore in Mississauga for Epson Canada. And to put that in perspective, it's like having a Best Buy retail outlet for one product that Epson carried, that brand name, in terms of all the printers and computers.
Okay.
It was 11,000 square foot showroom in Mississauga.
Printers were like the bee's knees back then, right?
They were huge and expensive. Computers were expensive.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So you're doing sales for that. And then how did you get started with the company you're with?
So I decided in January of '96 I wanted a career change. I've been in the industry 7 years, seen it all, did it all, and I just had enough of it, to put it, right on the table, full transparency. I was looking for a career change that wasn't working out very well. So one of my partners who I used to work with at the previous company gave me a call and said, we need a guy to come in, do some sales, and bring the small business to the retail store. So I joined the team in March of '96, and we haven't looked back. We just went out there, fought the good fight, and whatever I did, the partner is very technical. Mm-hmm. They went out and made me look phenomenal. I was able to tell our story, knock on doors, and always got to deliver more than what we promised.
So how did you was it just results? Like, how do you go from being, hey, kind of recruited for sales when you get in front of some people to being the president of the company and helping it grow so much?
So dealing with technical guys, and we were young. We're going back 31 years ago. So we, in all essence, we were very new in our career, mm-hmm. and just starting out, trying to figure it all out. And the technical side of it, because they're great at what they do, they wanted nothing to do with the front side. So I was the one that would knock on the doors, prospect, get the door slammed in my face, told we're too expensive, etc. But when we went out there and told the story that, we're going to take care of you, we're going to deliver this, we were first to go 24/7. We were able to come out, put out the fires. We responded to companies that had contracts with other companies. We were the first to respond, put the fire out, pick them up as a client, sometimes faster than under contract vendor would even respond to them. So that's how we built our reputation.
Do you remember the first client you got?
I do. Accurate Manufacturer in Windsor, Ontario, and that was in May of 1991. And
so you viscerally remember it. Yeah. It was a Tuesday.
They've actually come back in directly because they were bought out by another client of ours.
Really?
And so,
how'd you get that account? The first account?
Cold calling.
Nice, man.
I got on the phone, and I always asked for the president, CEO, always aimed at the top. And this gentleman was very nice, told me exactly where they were because they were off the beaten path. Went out to meet with him, and he liked what I had to say. So at AlphaKOR, he gave me my first big sale, and I was very, very honored and very happy to have him actually as an adopted mentor. I ran into him years later and actually told him that. I said, I have to tell you, all those meetings, all those conversations we had, as we were cutting our teeth in this industry, you really helped me a lot, not realizing the role that you played. So he was a very humble gentleman.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to really get steam and know that this was what you were gonna do? That took a long time. You said 20-something, 30 years in AlphaKOR, right? How long did it take to be all right, this is it? You know what I'm saying? I'm all in.
It didn't take very long. The first meeting to talk about the offer at my dining room table, I was offered partnership, and I said no. I humbly declined. I had more experience than the three of them, so I thought, I'll just come on board, do 100% commission, and this sounds like a pretty good thing. March of '96, when we look at that time frame, I have a business degree, so I'm the non-technical guy, leading a technical company up to now. And it was very interesting because on paper, we had no business entering the market space. It was already oversaturated. There were so many players. But I found out, first time in my life, a person can make a difference. And people really wanted to listen to what I had to say. They believed in me. They liked me. They believed in the partnership that I had backing me up. They believed in our technical capabilities. And 8 months later, the company had exploded beyond all of our wildest dreams. And, we didn't even have 3 years under our belt yet. And that's when the partners came to me and said, all right, we got to rethink this. We don't like your commission checks.
So they offer you partnership up front. You're like, no.
No,
just pay me. I'm going to go get you sales and just pay me the money. That's so cold-blooded. I love that.
What they allowed me to do, and, because, again,
you're making more money than them off the commission.
Quote unquote, yeah.
For sure, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they always take the profits.
They're having to reinvest to build infrastructure.
Correct.
You're just printing.
And, I sat there and, we talk about mentorship. Never had one, didn't even know what one was. We talk about your family and friends and all these resources. Nobody in my circle of circles backed me up at all. Everyone told me, just go work in the factory. You're crazy going into business. You're crazy cutting checks with these guys you don't even know. But I believed in them. I believed in what we were doing, and I really seen what was happening, and I was so excited. We incorporated. I named me president because it made sense. I'm doing sales, so I was the sales manager. I was the president.
It's easy to sell as the president, right?
And all the other three, they took all their high-end technical titles, and we all became equal partners, and it was just go out and do the job. The beauty of it is they were truly 24/7. Again, the nights, the weekends. This is all pre-marriage, pre-kids. Everybody had all. I was married, but everyone had all the free time to go out and just build the business.
It was literally 24. It was people doing it 24/7. It wasn't like now.
People 24.
I mean, it was it's different now.
People physically
physically working and showing up 24/7.
And then the trust was there where companies would say, "Here's our alarm code. Come on in the middle of the night." So the technical partners and some of the senior staff over time would have credentials, keys, and alarm codes, and we go in and do stuff in the middle of the night before we were remoting in.
Yeah, I think what you said was interesting, that you had a lot of people, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're crazy, you're crazy. It's always fun to look back and be like, yeah, okay, I'm crazy.
It's okay. I never conformed to conform. That was one of my mottos. I said, I'm going to go out and do this. Somewhere in '97, I got nudged into volunteering. And that totally changed my life. It helped me grow. It helped me learn a lot. I sat on associations, committees, boards. I chaired some boards. I co-founded 3 nonprofits. Wow. So it really shaped me in a whole
the nonprofits?
Different realm. So the first one I got involved with was WeTech. It's our only IT community that really came together back then. It's got to be almost 15 years now. So 6 of us co-founded that organization, and that was a facilitator to bring people in the IT community together, to help startups, entrepreneurs, and have some great networking events. The other one was Build a Dream. This is an amazing organization that caters to females in grade 11 and 12 to go after, to consider being involved in male-dominated STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And then the Give and 8 was another nonprofit that, we just started before COVID, and then we started doing living room concerts, and we lined up a bunch of bands. I got a bunch of band friends of mine to play concert for free and do some stuff, and we had golf tournaments, etc. So it was a lot of fun to be involved in.
That's probably a lot of fun. That
different, yeah, it's great fun.
Are those nonprofits still around?
All three are still around.
Wow.
I'm still involved with two of them from afar. I'm past chair of Build a Dream, past chair of WeTech, so I'm still involved, and both leaders, respectively, Yvonne Pilon and Noor Hatcham, are doing extremely well with organizations.
When you started the first nonprofit, was there a strategy to that too? Like, hey, like, was that just like what made you want to do that? You know what I mean? Like, what was I'm going to start WeTech. Like, how did that come up?
So it was not my idea. I was probably the sixth one in, if I recall.
Okay.
I was playing Sunday morning early hockey, and we'd go across the street for breakfast. And one of the guys I played hockey with said, "Hey, Frank, I think you're in IT, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You got to come out to this meeting. There's this thing going on. It's forming. You should be a part of it." So I went and checked it out, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. We've got 5 CEOs in the community and a director of IT that was working in Michigan. The 6 of us got together and actually formed the nonprofit based on the model of regional information centers, and there were about 30 or some in North America at the time. So we did follow a model, and it actually spun out. We were kind of under the umbrella of Waterloo Communitech, and also a London's tech town as well, their groups. So they kind of overseen what we were doing, and it was exciting. I chaired it for 3 years. It was a lot of. I learned a lot, met a lot of people, had some great people on our board, and it was a lot of fun.
It's gonna happen by showing up.
Yeah, just show up.
Show up, dude.
I learned what an in-cam meeting.
It seems like a lot of it though. You like got to get your first client. Called them.
Called them, knocked on their door.
Nothing crazy.
No.
Said, "What's up? We can do good work."
Right. But after that, it became R&R. That's all I really focused on the sales side of it. So for the whole sales marketing was R&R, which is repeat and referral. If the clients kept coming back, and we always presumed they were getting multiple proposals and keeping us in check, so you had to be very competitive and always taking care of them. And then when they referred, we had people we didn't know referring us. We had people contacting us. They heard about our great things. They were referred by clients or referred by some of the associations, some of the groups, some of the volunteering, some of the speaking engagements that we did. That was overwhelming. To have a student at the university or the college call 4 years later and say, "Hi, I saw the president of your company speak, and we're having IT problems. Can you guys help?" They're inviting you in to help their organization, and you look at that and
Literally,
go, wow.
cradle to grave marketing, right?
I go, this is really cool because you never know where an opportunity is going to come from.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
I can share where I got a cool opportunity if you want.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm not a handyman at all, and a buddy of mine says, "Hey, I'm reshingling my roof. Can you come out and give me a hand?" I'm afraid of heights. I'm like, "Sure." Go on a Saturday, and I meet one of his buddies. Don't know him at all. So we sit down at the end of the day. We grab our beer and our hamburger. Looks over at me and he goes, "You seem pretty cool. Talking to you all day long." He goes, "Do you have a business card?" 8 years later, this guy calls my office. I happen to be on vacation. He just bought a practice. He bought a server, 8 new computers, spent like $25,000, $30,000 on his investment. And I just thought, how cool is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
8 years before.
Not even selling, just talking to someone.
Did you guys build the sales team at this time, or was it just you selling?
We did. We had a great sales team. So myself, when I started, then I had an internal rep kind of handling. We still had showroom retail sales for a bit until we made the gutsy decision to say we're getting rid of the retail store. Well, that was a hard decision to make, but we pulled the plug on that. And so the one gentleman helped that, and then we hired a couple corporate reps. I would nudge with them. I would go out, shoulder with them. So I managed the team in all essence, from 96 to 2011.
Okay.
And then my business partner took over managing the team. I took part of the portfolio, and then we delegated the rest of the portfolio to the other 3 reps, and we helped them along the way, right? 2 of the partners, myself and Mazo, my CFO, worked closely with the corporate reps over the years. And then when Lika stepped in as CEO a couple years ago, he oversees all the day-to-day operations, including the sales team.
You run like tons of events, right? Or you used to?
Yeah, tons of events. All the time events are going on.
Tell me about that. Because Dan always tells me about that too. He's like, Frank runs like 100 events a year or something like that. I'm like, how does this guy juggle?
They're once a month.
Once a month, okay.
But it's marketing, right? Yeah. It sounds like a lot. So originally, we started in 2010. We ran what's called the Windsor Essex Circle. This is a great story for LinkedIn. So I was a LinkedIn user about 2009. And I had about 60 connections by the time 2010 rolled around. an associate of mine always wanted to have a group, a group of people, tight people. They're going to do this and do that. And I'm like, great. We belong to all these organizations. So on a Sunday after back to hockey, I start a group and I just call it Windsor Essex Circle and invited everybody. And by end of day Monday, I had over 40 people that joined the Windsor Essex Circle. And if you can visualize, all I said, Corey, was, I've got a bus. I'm blindfolded. I don't have a map. I don't know where I'm going. Who's on the bus? And 3/4 of my audience, two-thirds, sorry, I got to do the math, 4 to 6. So I had 2/3 of my audience within 24 hours hop on that bus. Think about that. Then I realized at that point in time, wow, look at the power of LinkedIn. Again, everyone, this is 2010. This is early in the game.
Wild, right?
I thought. So anyways, from there we ended up having monthly events. We got some traction, and we ran it 10 solid years, and we were getting 50, 60, peaking at 75 people a month coming out. And then COVID hit. My co-host didn't want to do it.
This is all in person, right?
It's all in person, picking different local venues. So in the fall of 2020, so many people were asking, what are we going to do? I was having all these virtual interactive meetings with me, virtual meetings, all this stuff going on virtually. Everyone's asking, how do we network? So January of 2021, I said, that's it. Wednesday, we're doing hump day. 11 o'clock, let's get people on, let's network. And I called it Wednesday Wisdom. So we ran that weekly, and we had about 45 people on every single week.
All those calls were packed back, like during COVID. It's like that's all everyone was doing. I'd show up to a call, there's like 400 people.
Well, we were all disconnected, and we wanted to be part of something. And so you fast forward, when we got in person, it got traction fast. And we were getting 60, 75, 90. We broke 100 a couple times, which was, to me, shockingly. I've been doing it over 5 years now, this group. And our email address is about 600 emails. And there's regulars that come out off and on, and there's new people. And it's just been a great community. It's called the Wednesday Wisdom Community now. We've added the word community, and people are feeling a part of it. Everyone is welcomed. It's non-intrusive. And it works because there's no agenda. There's no drama. There's no name tags. There's no speeches. There's nothing being sold. So it's just a natural way to network with people.
That's cool, man. So you said in 2 weeks you're the 30th, right?
Yes.
Retiring
After 38 some years in this industry.
That's wild, man. Congrats. You said there's other stuff you're going to do after this. You kind of said that. What's your game plan? So
I'm retaining my share of the ownership. So I'll be officially, my public title will go from president of AlphaKOR to principal of AlphaKOR. So I'm still an owner. I still have my shareholder, owner, principal duties to withhold. The partners will call me in as they need me. I'll represent the corp as needed at events, et cetera. We'll have 4 shareholder meetings a year like most typical corporations. So I'm excited about that part of it. That part's not going to change. We agreed I would keep my AlphaKOR email, my AlphaKOR cell phone. Those have been around 30 plus years. And I'll still be a lifeline for anyone.
Those are pretty valuable assets.
For anyone that we've built these relationships over time, and if they contact me, there's 4 places that I now have been practicing delegating, because I really let go day to day about March of 24 when Lika stepped in, April in 24 as the CEO. So either goes to all business inquiries for day to day are going to my CEO Lika. All marketing inquiries go to my marketing team, which is AlphaKOR Spark at alphakor.com. Any recruiting, HR, all goes to Braden, our HR person on board, or I just delete. So the biggest piece that I've been doing since 2011 is called letting go. I don't know if anyone's actually let go, but it looks beautiful in Wikipedia, but in real life, it's taken 15 years to actually make it a reality. Now that I'm delegating, as I mentioned, I don't follow up on what I've delegated. And I would say one of the great qualities I think I have is I'm a master follow-upper. And so I had to let go of, hey, Corey, did you get that email? Did you follow up with that person?
Yeah, people feel micromanaged.
Yeah, and then, hey.
Yeah, I got the email. Yeah. I can read it.
Yeah, so I've learned to let go and just let it go.
That's natural, though. You're in sales. Like, it's
of course
in your DNA.
Yeah.
It's like that's part of the process.
Well, even if we didn't get an opportunity, the clients, the prospect would tell me I was the first to follow up after an installation, see how it went, and the people they gave the money to most of the time didn't even contact them yet. So again, we showed them what level of service we're all about, and a lot of them did give us opportunities, and a lot of them did did come to us in the future from that, just by maintaining that relationship.
I was working at an agency before we started driving. There's this guy named Dennis Asmar, and he owns Electric Beach Tanning in the south side of the state, like in Monroe. I probably called this guy 400. Like, I literally called him 400 times.
It's stalking.
No, and I'm not. I mean, I'd call. Finally, he was like, "Listen, dude, I'm giving you the business because you won't leave. Like, literally, you won't leave me alone.
Wow.
And I know you guys will take care of us because you're like insane." When we got the business, yeah, it was damn near stalking. I mean, I probably called him like 50 times, literally. Like, talked to him 50.
You have to follow up.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's wild. Cool, man. So you're gonna stay on this principle. Doing any travel or anything like that? Like, you're gonna have more time.
Always more time. You know, we all have the same amount. Just had a daughter get married a couple weeks ago, so that kept us busy at the household. And my other daughter's also getting married in October of next year. We did a lot of traveling. We have done, my wife and I, a minimum 4 trips a year, and I do a couple with each of my daughters, just father-daughter time. One, we're hitting all the ball diamonds, so we've got 12 under our belt.
What are those, the ball diamonds?
The baseball MLB.
Oh, ball
so
diamonds,
we'll be
gotcha.
in Seattle, and we're very lucky. We're catching the Tigers 2 nights in Seattle, so we don't always get to coincide with the schedule and vacation times for my daughter, so I'm excited about that. The other one, I've traveled to Arizona area, and we did a lot of hiking in the past. Did a cruise last year. We did St. Lucia, did Mexico. So we've done some traveling. Want to hit Spain, a little more of Europe, and we haven't even really seen Canada, right? Haven't even been out west or east, so we still have to go there. So
really?
Yeah, I know. It's like we go abroad, right? So we love friends.
Vancouver looks cool.
Vancouver would be cool.
Yeah, Vancouver looks very cool.
Yeah, so we'll have to add Canada in our list too, closer to home.
So going through the business and go back a little bit now.
Sure.
So like, what were some of like the hard early lessons that you had to learn? Maybe not in AlphaKOR, but like in getting in sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, what were some of those hard? Because you said you didn't really come from, like, you didn't have a mentor. You didn't have.
No.
Yeah. So like, how did you learn?
Well, I can comment on that. I grew up on a farm. We had a roadside stand, so I always forget. I was selling roadside produce since I was 5 years old. So what I did learn is how to take care of people, make them happy based on Dad being my first mentorship. And, we weren't far from Point Pelee National Park, so we had a lot of Americans over back in the day, in the 70s, coming from the beach. And, we had to deal with a whole different set of people, a whole different culture. And it was very interesting how Dad just taught the kids, just take care of them, make them happy. So I learned that. Lessons learned in business, I was really naive and stunned that not everybody tells the truth all the time and has great intentions all the time. So I would say that caught me off guard, where people said, "Wow, Frank, this is normal. We're going to stretch this and that, and your sales, and of course they're going to give you lines of that." And I thought, "Oh, okay, all right. I'll be a little more careful how I'm asking questions, how I'm listening, and follow-up questions." So I asked a lot more questions. I wanted to really learn and understand people. The first thing I really wanted to know is why am I even at your boardroom table, right? Why did you invite me in? So that was one thing that I learned right away. Is
Like your icebreaker question?
Yeah. I just want to know, why am I here? And then I realized that I had to establish their trust immediately. And I've gone out with a lot of different people in and out of AlphaKOR, and I realized the very first impression is, do they like and trust you? If they don't like and trust you, it's pretty hard for anything else to happen after that. Even people, that didn't overly like what I did or weren't happy with what I did, to really educate them, to really understand. Always admit your mistakes. That was always up front. Yep, we made a mistake here. We're going to fix it. This is what we're going to do. Some people like that, and some people said, "Hey, you know what? Too bad, so sad. We're still not going to deal with you." And you'd say, "Okay, thank you. We'll be back." And you knock on their door, and they come back. Mm-hmm. In 1997, with my one sales rep, I wrote on the little whiteboard in his office, and I wrote down, "All roads lead to AlphaKOR." And I can't tell you how true that statement is. When we started up, and 3 of us had come from a previous company, and the clients would move to AlphaKOR, it was like, wow, this is very interesting. And then some of the clients that maybe went back to the company we were at, or we didn't deal with anymore for whatever reason over time, we bought the company the 3 of us worked at, and all those clients came back.
You guys bought the company you guys worked at? That's awesome.
Yeah, so in the fall of 2014, one of the biggest challenges in business was our current facility, we outgrew it. We were busting at the seams, office-wise. We were busting at the seams parking. We went and rented a spot across the street with 10 parking spots, put the sales team in it. We had a 2-story building that we're in that we own. We had a rental place. We had a competitor that we were buying that was going to be another offsite with another set of teams. And I just thought, this is way too much,
It's
all happening at much. So in October 2014, I called the partners and said, Labor Day, 1 p.m. upstairs in the boardroom. 1.5 hours, we mapped it all out. We figured out how we're going to buy the new building, how we're going to buy the competition, how we're going to do the renovations, how we're only going to be in one roof, and make it all work. And we were almost bang on. I just forgot about some extra furniture that we ended up buying because we didn't like the furniture when we moved it. But it was 3 major investments that we made that were beyond that we ever experienced. And the building that we were in back in the crash of 08 when we bought it was the biggest acquisition the 4 of us had ever made at that time as well. And I will never forget, we moved in the October of 2008. My one partner just said, Frank, why are you always positive? Why are you optimistic? What makes you think? We're in the eve of a recession here. What makes you think we can go out and lose money on selling this building and go out and buy that expensive building? And I told him 2 words, honesty and integrity. He said, what? I said, honesty and integrity is going to do it. So I have a crystal balled a few things, which I really love. Sometimes I'm way off, but I want to share the one in January. January 2008, when we were kind of coming to terms on this conversation about, are we going to do this thing? Things don't look the greatest. There's an email that surfaced at one of our anniversary, and it said, boys, are you ready to pull the trigger? Those are my partners, and I said, we're going to buy this building, this 6,000 square foot building. We're going to be there 10 years. We're going to move 15 people, and we're going to be 30 people in 10 years. Then we're going to buy a 10,000 square foot building on a 1 acre property, and we're done. Well, 6.5 years, we did all that and more. And when they showed it to me, I said, wow, were we ever off? They're like, that's what you got out of it? You know, today we're in a 12,000 square foot building on 2 acres with 85 employees.
It's awesome, man.
It's just amazing how it's hard work, though. There's no secret. There's no shortcut. I can't kid about that. If anyone ever talks to my wife, Carmela, during the first 25 years, she will do probably a mental eye roll and say, yeah, a lot of nights I didn't come home for dinner, and a lot of nights it was, you know, you get the self-induced stress, right? You're just trying to figure it all out. But what I found was, when we got a little bit of traction when we were building the company, I kept saying, we have a 6-month window, and then we're there. And I got up every morning 30 years later saying,
6 month
we have a 6-month window to do it. And so that's what's kept me motivated.
It's urgency, though. It's like they say when they built the, I was listening to a podcast, and they were, when they sent us to the moon or whatever, it was like a 10-year vision or something, but then they had to like speed it up because some political shit happened, and I went from 10 years to 7 years, and they made it. It's like, well, if they would have said a year, it probably would have made it too. It's when we make tighter, they might not always be healthy, but if we give ourselves a tighter deadline, we just hit it.
To hit it.
You have to hit it.
Raise the bar.
It just happens.
I'd just like to share some of the transition that we did. So we had a 600 square foot retail store when I joined the company. From there, we evolved to the small businesses I mentioned. We got rid of the retail. So we dealt with DOS. We were going into the Windows world. We dealt with dial-up, high speed, the internet, right? So we saw a lot of changes. One thing that AlphaKOR was going against the grain is every time there was a tragedy, every time there was something bad that happened, our company would grow, our company would explode, and we wouldn't drop back. I always thought, okay, there's an influx of business, we're just going to regress back, and it just continued to build. COVID, if we remove the human side of it, I don't want to get into those details, but if we talk about COVID as a marketing strategy for a corporation, I can't tell you how many tickets we did.
You guys killed it,
when
right?
People had to go home, and we were there. We were there to figure it out. We were there to help. We did full staff augmentation for companies that were needing people that they just couldn't find people, something that we never dealt with before. our local college, we were online support 24/7 for 16,000 students globally trying to get on their online curriculum. This Gordie Howe Bridge is hot news today, and AlphaKOR, we've been involved in since day one, and we have an awesome website to release once they open the bridge that they asked us to develop. So we've been very excited to deal with a lot of really fun projects and deal with people at all different levels, from the the homeowner to the single operator of their own little business to nationwide and federal business. So it's been very, very interesting, the whole cross sector that we've been able to. I always look at technology's technology. We can help anyone at any level.
So you guys bought the company that you used to work at. Did you guys
Yes.
acquire any other companies along the way?
We did. We acquired a smaller one years before that. We ended up hiring the sales rep, and he says, hey, the owner's winding down and moving out of town. So we sat down with him. We bought his company out. We looked at several other companies, but the challenge, nobody wants to sell their baby.
Or they want more than it's
Of course.
worth.
So I've learned by this exercise is we can't get involved emotionally, and we can't develop the relationships emotionally with the other side. There's some pros to that. The con is it's hard to come back to the table and say, you want X, I'm offering you X minus this. So it really makes it difficult. So we have some good ongoing discussions over time. It's been very interesting.
Is that still part of like the growth strategy, or?
Absolutely. If there's opportunity, we'll
opportunity.
definitely look at it. The company now is continuously on a growth. The company continues to expand. We've got some footprints across Canada. We're opening new offices, and it's just an exciting time.
That's awesome.
Things that we thought we would just do virtually, and never thought we would do that in the early days. The big piece, we have to talk about AI. AI is hot. So I always joke with people and say, when I grew up, AI was a set of encyclopedias sitting on the bookshelf, right? Everything that AI has is in those encyclopedias, which today is the internet. Mm-hmm. So the AI is a massive tool, and it really needs to be utilized. It needs to be used properly, and the goal of it is to make us all more efficient. It knows nothing more than you and I know. It could just find information quicker.
Yes.
It can put stuff together quicker. I actually argued with ChatGPT one weekend. I was doing a PowerPoint, and the AlphaKOR colors of my PowerPoint are orange and black. And every time it kept spitting out the updated PowerPoint, it was just black text on all white screens. And, I spent hours going back and forth and telling it what to do and giving it samples and giving it the orange, giving it the black, and it just never got it right. And I'm thinking, is it me? Okay, so it's challenging me. And then I realized it can't do what I'm asking it to do. And the tool actually said, truth be told, Frank, I'm unable to do this request. And then it said you have to go out and purchase other tools. Mm-hmm. But for the tool to actually reach a conclusion where a human would say, hey, you know what, I can't lay tile on your floor, Corey, sorry, I can do shingles on the roof, right? But a tool like that, it can lead you wrong.
It's trying to be useful no matter what.
Yeah.
But
it's been extremely powerful. I'm using Claude.ai. I've used Notebook LNM, so I'm using a lot of the different tools. Copilot.
Claude Design's really good for
Yeah,
the PowerPoint stuff.
Absolutely. So, you learn as you go. We try out all the tools. The team's well versed in it. Most companies, though, are recommending you need an AI compliancy and some policy.
I was going to ask, on your side, because you guys are doing IT, I'm sure it's cybersecurity.
Yes.
Right? So, like, Fable the other day literally got nerfed by the U.S. government, the new Claude version. So, is AI is obviously a big security threat, right, to companies?
It can be, absolutely. And when you say threat, what do you mean by?
Well, I mean the ability for a kid who's never touched a computer before to potentially voice prompt a AI agent to hack a system.
Absolutely.
And find holes.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
So we've been talking about cybersecurity for an extremely long time with everybody. We've had webinars on it. We've done virtual, we've done in person, the due diligence. I always ask, what investment do you need to make to keep your stakeholders happy? Because everyone's going to get attacked at some point. Everyone's getting random attacked, and sometimes it will get through. There's nothing that's foolproof, right?
They were trying to hack my phone the other day.
There you go.
They were trying to get my Apple ID from India or something.
It happens all day long. And a lot of it, the emails are becoming more clever, the spoofing. I'm getting AlphaKOR documents to sign.
They're good.
They're great.
They're really good.
I'm getting AlphaKOR documents to sign and go, wait a minute, I'm an owner of the company. I know all our minutes. I know all our meetings. And it's very interesting that even with super tight spam filters and security control.
No, they're good. These emails are good.
Yeah, they're getting under the radar. And what if I'm sitting here, go, hang on, Corey, I got an email I got to sign a document. I click on it and sign. All of a sudden, I got malware, and it takes down my entire infrastructure for that one moment of weakness.
Yeah. So what is the best thing like smaller companies can do right now to protect themselves? When I say smaller, I mean under 100 employees.
So if they don't have an IT person, talk to your IT partner or your IT in-house person. So one thing is you need really good passwords. I know that people don't like that, that they don't enjoy it, but the password I log in my computer should be different than my bank, should be different than my online applications and my streaming. Because once I have a password, then the tools will go in and sniff all your credentials, right? So if my login is the same as my email, I can hack in your email. And emails become very clever when they're hacking today. They can take over your email you don't even know, and it sends out email. Only the banking information has changed. It deletes your sent, it deletes it into deleted. So it's very powerful what they've done. Just be on alert, question it. Anytime there's an attachment or clicking on anything, I always go to the source. So I'm going to use Netflix. So I have Netflix account. It came through on my AlphaKOR email that it was jeopardized. I had to click on the link. That was netflix.com/myaccount. It's legitimate. If you hover with the mouse and look at the email address, it's not the same. So what you do is log into netflix.com, check your account, and the next thing to do is change the password just to be double safe. What happens? Someone says, who cares that you're in your Netflix? Well, the problem is this. If I get into your Netflix account, what's probably on file? Your bank info or your credit card. Mm-hmm. I'd love to have a credit card of someone else, right? So again, they made it easy. Question it, ask questions. So small business owners need to really change their password often. Take a look at invoices, payment attached PDF files. You really need to be extra careful. I called a gentleman in Waterloo that was ordering 60 hard drives for me one day. He goes, Frank, I don't know what's going on. He goes, I'm getting boxes of hard drives shipped to my office. Somebody spoofed him. They spoofed, and it just didn't smell right to me. So I Googled the company. It's a different number. This is the problem, right? If I called the number in the email, they would say, hi, this is ABC Company. Yeah, I did order those drives. Send them over, right? And so I called the owner, and he was really upset. And then I asked him, I said, well, who's your IT company? You should probably talk to them. But again, you can't control somebody from spoofing you, right? I walked in today, and I'm Corey. I got a badge. I'm Corey. If I say I'm you, and you don't know who you are, who's going to dispute it? And this is part of the problem, right? I trust this guy. I've seen his name, and I'm spoofing you. I'm not really you. Scary, I don't want to be you, by the way.
I don't want to be you either.
You definitely don't want to be me. But yeah, to talk about the services, so the big piece is the managed services right now, which means we're your IT team, or we complement your IT team and make them the hero, making sure that we've got everything locked down. The cyber piece that you mentioned. AI has gone in a whole big direction. We're actually taking AI and we're doing managed intelligence. What does that mean? Well, you take AI and you take human eyes together. AI is not going to win alone, and humans aren't going to win alone today. We have to work together. So I've come up with a theory that I think most small businesses should look at. Take some younger people and experienced people together, and take some AI and some human eyes together. Put those four things together as a small business owner. Find those trusted sources, and you're going to be able to help your business grow in the right direction and hopefully safe. And that's the key piece, right? We want to be safe. So now we're a managed service provider powered by managed intelligence. And the managed intelligence, back to that, is AI and human together. So our security operating center internally, we're one of the few in our region that have an internal team. Most people sub it out. A lot of them in Canada are subbing out to the U.S. Yeah, overseas or to the U.S. from the Canadian operations. We're internal in Canada, our own team, but that's a lot of automated tools and also 24/7, 3 shifts of human eyes.
Why does Canada source the U.S.? It's interesting.
Dollars.
Really?
Resources. It's just interesting. Like our licensing, a lot of it's, if we're buying Microsoft, although we go through Microsoft Canada, a lot of licenses could be procreated from the U.S.
Okay.
So we have a good relationship with the country, and we have to work together. I crossed the border today and got here in less than 30 minutes, so there you go. International border. Love coming to the sports, cigar bars.
Yeah, you're a big cigar guy, right?
Concerts, right? Yeah. So again, I've always looked at it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. We're going to figure out how to have some common ground or get together. I want to share early part of my career. This would have been summer of '88. Gentleman came in. We had the retail store for reps in Canada in Windsor. He came in, from the field, working in the field. I could tell, he's probably out in construction or some sort of renovation. A little bit dirty, right? And it's a hot day, and he comes in, broken English, and he's looking for a computer for his daughter. First time buyer, 1988, right? That's what he dealt with when I started in the industry. He came back 2 weeks later, and I usually get emotional on this part, and he said, I'm the only one who gave him time of day. And he goes, I've had $4,000 in my pocket to buy my daughter her computer. And he just handed me $4,000.
Back then, it's like a shit ton of money.
Yeah, so computers were expensive, and here's a dad working
it was like
hard.
$30K last, probably, or whatever. Like,
again, humble beginnings. I grew up on the farm. Dad, when when we got cleaned up and we tried to, what's the story? In 1980, I had to buy this brand new camera for my sister. She was adamant she had to buy it. So we come to Windsor to the dealership, and I do remember that day. Me, my dad, and my sister clean up as best we can, right? Nobody gave us time of day. Nobody. And my dad said, I can't believe it. Here's my dad walking in to buy this Camaro cash. And back then, cash was checked, just so you know. But yeah, so then finally somebody came, and my dad goes, I've been staying around. Nobody's talked to me. No one's giving me time of day. They go, the first thing they say is, sir, you can't afford it. Right, we make a lot of judgments. We make a lot of assumptions.
Making assumptions.
So I learned back in my roots, literally on the farm, I don't judge anybody. And I can deal with that first-time home buyer in 1988, and I can talk about Corey's network infrastructure in this building for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. It takes 45 minutes. Everyone gets the same amount of attention.
That's awesome, man.
It might be a little longer for certain projects, but most discussions are 45 minutes. Actually, I coined for the corporate reps, it's door-to-door in the parking lot is 60 minutes. Arrive at least 5 minutes early when you slam that door and you're in the office. You do the small talk. Get in the boardroom, you do the small talk, meat and potatoes, and it starts getting repetitive, time to leave. Do the small talk at the board door, do the small talk at the front desk. You're in the car, slam the door. I look at the rep.
Yeah.
57 minutes. Yep, perfect. And that's not even rushing. It's a 60-minute routine.
That's cool, man. That's really cool to see so the lesson you learn on the farm apply to you later. And
it took a lot of years to realize those were lessons learned. I never realized it the first.
I've been realizing some shit like that lately, just weird stuff. Like you never really thought of, why do I do this? I don't even know where it came from. But I was actually talking to Dan about this, and I was like, oh my god, I do this because of this. I do that. He's like, yeah, no kidding, dude. And I'm like, well, it's a shock to me. You don't think about that kind of stuff,
When I ran that superstore in Mississauga, we were doing $250,000 a month, single box sales in Mississauga, it's outside of Toronto, big city.
Big city or
big city, right? Suburb of it's part of GTA, Great Toronto. The president who hired me to take over that store when I was from Windsor to Mississauga calls me after my 3-month sales are end. You know what he tells me? He says he made a mistake hiring me. I'm like 23 years old. I'm like catching my breath. I'm like, oh, I just got reprimanded by the president of this corporation. And you know what he told me? He said, I'm the store manager. I am not allowed to sell. And my personal sales were more than my entire team combined. And I said to the president, none of the staff can take a computer because it was all pre-built. I put every computer sold in that store as the manager on my dolly, and I put it in their car for them. And I helped them explain how to hook it up. I'm in Mississauga, in a big city, nobody that I know, and I'm getting referrals. My team, they looked at me and they go, we don't even know how you're getting referrals. And I didn't even know that I wasn't allowed to sell.
Oh, you were actually getting reprimanded?
I got reprimanded for selling my team 3 months. And I'm like, hi, what just happened here? So I just told them that, that this is who I am. I'm taking care of people. I'm out on the floor. And a lot of times people weren't given time of day, back to that. And I'd say, hi, can I help you? And I talk to them. Next thing you know, they're standing in line to pay the cash. I'm getting their computer, and I'm loading up the car for them. And I didn't know I wasn't allowed to sell. Nobody told me that. It didn't say in my job description, "Thou shalt not sell."
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, you think
I thought, after all these years, I look back at that and go, that was a very interesting phone call.
Yeah, it's super weird. I'd be ecstatic. I'd be like, I hired you for the wrong position. You do sales now.
So I guess I've always just loved selling. It's been a lot of fun talking to people and getting to know people and just having fun with it. Now on the other side of it, I've given a lot back. I love the mentoring. I love volunteering. I love that networking group that I've created. Love being on the side at AlphaKOR, and when someone needs help or wants to know history of something, they come to me. I'm the grandfather with the fireside chat. So let me tell you a story about that client back in my day, back in 1992. So they look at me and they're like, they weren't even born then. But yeah, it's been an enriching career, to say the least.
If you had to give somebody like some advice early on who's like getting into sales or starting a business, what would it be?
So you need to have a really good banker, a lawyer, definitely, and an accountant. Those three are paramount. Find someone who's not necessarily in the same business as you, but someone in business that you do know that you can trust, that might have a few more years experience, and just openly talk to them. I learned the concept of having an outside board of directors. So I would go to 3 to 4 business associates and have lunch and say, hey, we're thinking of buying a building during the recession. What did you guys do to manage financing? So you ask them questions you normally can't ask your family and friends kind of questions. I didn't really do that. We had some good associates, but we didn't divulge too much. AlphaKOR, we love to keep things internally. But that would be my advice is find
so looking, I didn't do any of this, but it would have made things a lot easier, basically.
It definitely would have made things easier, would have ramped up things. And there's a lot of resources out there to help. How do I do a business plan? How do I pitch the Angels Group to get money?
We didn't have a real business plan when we started. It was on a bar napkin, dude.
Of course, we just did it, right?
Just calling people.
Absolutely.
Your website sucks.
The number one
thing. Let me talk to you. That was it.
The number one thing for owners is knowing your cash flow. Cash flow is the silent killer in business. Because a lot of people say, I had a whole bunch of money in the bank, and then the accountant's telling me I'm running the business to the ground. I don't understand. You need to know your numbers. I'm fortunate. I was counting roadside sales since I was 5 years old. Numbers never scared me. I got my business degree. I learned a lot about numbers. The accounting was great. From day one in the corp, I could read balance sheet, income statement, trial balance, cash flow, your budget forecasting. All that is critical, and it's all not fun stuff that most people don't enjoy doing. It needs to be done. Paramount.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools that can help with
absolutely
with that now too.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine trying to do that 30, 40 years ago because it's probably a pain in the
ass.
ass.
Manual system bookkeeping once upon a time.
Would you just go through all your receipts and then go get count all your checks and
do the check reconciliation was always fun every month. For AI, the beauty of it today is AI is affordable to virtually everyone. And it can make virtually any business owner, entrepreneur competitive today. Everything is at our fingertips that we never had.
More even playing field.
Correct. So we just need to do it, get out of our comfort zone, follow your passion. My passion was really people. The IT has been fun, and I learned a lot. I used to know all the speeds and feeds, and I could rattle off all the spec sheets till the cows came home. But today it's about, where do you want to take your business? What's preventing you from getting there? Let me get the right experts involved on our team. Let me bring in other people that might be able to help you from other walks of life on pieces of your business you need help with. So that's been exciting to kind of be a go-to person to help people.
You probably have guys calling you for all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah, when people renovate, we're brought in to help them. We help their electrician where they're going to run all the data voice cables. I remember this couple that I knew sent me into a church they retrofitted, and there was the phone company at the time, the telco, the internet provider, and the electrician. All three were waiting for me to arrive. They threw the blueprints on the table and said, all right, tell us how many wires to the building for the internet. Tell us where the electrical runs need to be. Tell us where the data and the voice. And here I am, quote unquote, just some sales guy walking in. And we had a conversation. I made recommendation. The owner called me and said, Frank, I could not answer any question. I'm glad you guys were there. I had to lean on my technical expertise for some of the answers, right? Because I don't want to make the mistake. Because when you're in a renovation and a build, but this is a trusted relationship. People rely on you to help their business. And can I read a blueprint? Sure. Can I read it from a construction and engineering point of view? No. But I can read where rooms are and what's going in there and help where to put plugs, for example. So it's, you have to adapt and learn, and you have to also say, hey, wait a minute, whoa, I can't help you with this because I actually don't know. And it's okay to say that, but then you find out the answer.
Honesty and integrity. Right?
But to tell the telco how many wires to bring to a building, you only get one shot at that. You can't go back later. So I'm trying to build headroom. And again, everyone asks questions. When you ask me about that, ask questions. Because by asking questions, I found out this church they're renovating, they're going to have 2 tenants in the basement. Well, that changes things. Because they're going to have separate lines and at the time separate fax lines. So again, your number of wires are going to be higher. You've got tenants. Now, if we didn't ask questions, have a conversation, don't know about the tenants, now what? Now they have to call and pay an expensive bill to bring new wires for the tenants. So again, it's ask questions. That's the answer's in the question.
Well, with that being said, do you have any questions? I'm just kidding. Was there anything else you wanted to mention, or as we kind of wrap up here?
I just want to recap. I've done a blog for a number of years that's been converted to a book,
that's cool.
And I talk about several times the 3 keys to success are follow up, follow up, follow up. I can't say that enough. Most of us say we do it, and I know we've heard about the 80-20 rule. I think it's the 90-10. I think 10% of us actually do the following up. 90% say we do. That's the key. Just like you said when you followed up with the person 50 times, all right, without stalking, right? You gotta find the right balance, right? I like being assertive but not too aggressive, right? I mean, you have to find the right balance. So that's one thing. 2, we talked about knowing your numbers in business. If you're going to get into business, you got to get those trusted sources. That is so critical. Who can I trust, right? We had some good people that helped us from that business point of view in the personal circle and other resources. Recommend those. There's a lot today that I didn't know about. So if you don't know about them, ask your local chamber, ask your business bureau, whoever you happen to have in your town. I would definitely do that. And go to networking events. And the key to networking events, go alone. Don't go with a friend and hang out with an associate. When I went with people that I knew, they would save a seat at the table. And I would walk right by them and say, I'm sitting here because I'm sitting with 7 people. You're sitting with 7. That's 14. When you and I are at the table together, we only sit with 6 people. Big difference. So go networking events, get out of your comfort zone, and just talk to people. Corey, what do you do? What are you looking for today? What would you come to the event for? Do you have any hobbies? Would you like to hear my story? Can we exchange cards? Do you want to follow up with a coffee chat? Coffee chats are beautiful. I would love to have coffee chats at my office all the time, or come and check out your office, or a neutral place, right? The coffee chat, I think, is a big, big piece, and it's a safe, some people that maybe don't want to be committed to come to your place or my place, you can go to any coffee shop and have a nice conversation. Interesting what you learn. I didn't golf, so I learned that because I didn't do 9 or 18 holes with someone, I didn't get to bond on the golf course, so I guess I bonded at the coffee shops or in my office having coffee.
Golf's an awesome way to do it.
Of course it is, yeah.
Perfect.
So if you don't know how to golf and you're starting out in your career, I highly recommend learn how to golf. No one's going to care how good or bad you are. Just
so
meet
time
people.
Consuming.
Yeah, it is time consuming.
It's
great investment, and I was taught by people, join a league. At least go once a week in the league, and once a week, yourself, your friends, whatever. And I recommend it because you do make a lot of business connections that way.
100%.
Yeah, so those are all my nuggets for the moment.
Well, thanks, Frank. I super appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
Thanks for being on.
Having me. A lot of fun.